Shalom, shalom, family, and aloha from Maui, Hawaii. This is your sister Chaya with the Melchizedek News Headlines for Monday, November 18th. I pray that you all are well on this beautiful day. All praises to the Most High, for He's worthy to be praised. Family, I got some update on some incoming weather on both sides of the country. And that's where I am going to start today. But first, let's get some motivation and some encouragement. How about we start with a Melchizedek News precept of the day? Shalom, family. This is Sister Chaya the Elect, and this message is for my sister in Christ, and she knows who she is, and all of those that are dealing with trials and tribulations related to illness and death. It's from 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 6 and 7. So be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead. Even though you must endure many trials for a little while, these trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise, glory, and honor on the day that Christ is revealed to the whole world. And that is your Melchizedek News precept of the day. Real love and real respect. All praises to the Most High for His word. We need His wisdom in this hour. Family, we're going to start with the weather because we have some seriously developing storms for both sides, for the West Coast, Northwest, as well as the Midwest, Upper Great Lakes area, and in the Northeast that are coming over the next 24 to 48 hours. So let's start there with the weather, shall we?
I've got one that can see.
You doggone right you do.
This is going to happen, generally speaking, right in line when we're expecting to see our normal first snow.
Let's move on to the Northeast, shall we? Kind of a cool time lapse from Albany. It has been a long stretch of dry weather, but guess what? We have light at the end of the tunnel. And maybe not so much light, because I think all of us are just ready to get some rain in here. Sure, the sunshine's been great, but we desperately need some rain. And finally, the end of this week, we get exactly what we've been asking for. So let's take you through the updated forecast. Again, we're watching this storm that's going to produce the snow, the wind, the rain, the wind for the Midwest and the upper Midwest. That kind of acts as the seedling to a second storm that's going to be taking shape the middle part of this work week. That's our rainmaker for the Northeast. So again, this is a feature that doesn't really get into our scope until we get to the middle part of the work week, but we desperately need it. Good to see.
This system overall, Stephen, that we're watching that's triggering the severe weather, that's helping bring in that heavy rain, it is all going to shift off to the north and to the east. And as it moves into the northern tier, it is going to start bringing in and dragging down with it Arctic air, cold air. What happens when you get cold air and moisture? You get snow. So this is going to be a very dynamic setup because as this low pivots off to the north, it eventually occludes, it just kind of stalls and meanders. So we'll be watching that in real time, Stephen, from tonight, in through Wednesday, this changeover, where we go from wet and rainy to very windy, maybe seeing some snow, and maybe dealing with blizzard conditions in spots.
It's a wild ride that the upper Midwest, the high plains are going to deal with. As a fellow snow lover, I take issue. And it's like when you go to school assemblies and you talk to people about, how.
So yes, family, this is a pretty significant storm. I saw that they had mentioned, they called it thunder snow, even possibly, because they were saying it's an atmospheric river that's coming from the northeast Pacific. So those areas you see there, Portland, parts of Northern California, even Nevada, but particularly they were talking about the winds. Very strong, like even hurricane force winds, and that may create some power outages for those states, as well as notice that this is really across the country from the west all the way to the middle of the country, to the northeast. There's just different storm fronts, whether it be some significant rain, whether it be snow, whether it be wind. So I'll keep you up to date with that. So be sure to, if you're in any of those states with these weather warnings, be paying attention and always be prepared. Meanwhile, we had a situation over here with Russia.
At least 11 people, including 2 children, were killed by a Russian missile on Sunday night, Ukraine officials said. It hit a 9-story residential building in the northeastern region of Sumy. The attack comes after Russia hit Ukraine's power grid overnight on Saturday in what Kyiv said was a massive attack with 120 missiles and 90 drones that killed at least 7 people.
Breaking news overnight in Russia's war with Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia has launched 210 drones and missiles at Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Take a look at this. This is Kyiv's skyline as Ukraine reportedly shot down 140 air targets. Russian strikes have hammered Ukraine's power generation capacity since Moscow's all-out invasion of its neighbor in February 2022, prompting repeated emergency power shutdowns and nationwide rolling blackouts. Ukrainian
situation over there is escalating between Russia and Ukraine. Even the U.S. is on high alert right now because what's developing. They mentioned that Biden has okayed for Ukraine to use ballistic missiles. So there's a lot that's happening, and a lot will also affect America. So make sure you're staying vigilant and be aware of what's going on around the world. Stay tuned here on Melchizedek News because I do my best to update you all. Meanwhile, they're saying they have a deadlier form of mpox that has been showing its head.
Federal health officials are sounding the alarm about mpox. A deadlier form of the virus has been detected in California. The CDC says the person diagnosed with the disease traveled recently to Eastern Africa, where an outbreak is ongoing. The patient is undergoing treatment and is in isolation right now.
To be continued, family. Meanwhile, we have this neo-Nazi group that was doing some protest over in Colombia. I need to show you all here in the Midwest.
A demonstration by neo-Nazis over the weekend in Columbus, Ohio. The armed group marched carrying flags with swastikas on them. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the story. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. The hate was right out in the open. So brazen, Ohio's governor felt compelled to respond.
This morning, new surveillance footage of an armed group of men carrying flags emblazoned with swastikas marching through the streets of Columbus, Ohio. The troubling incident happening Saturday afternoon. Each person dressed head to toe in all black, masks concealing their faces. They shouted vile and racist speech against Jews and people of color. Ohio's governor denouncing the neo-Nazis, writing, "There is no place in this state for hate, bigotry, anti-Semitism, or violence." Hate crimes have been on the rise for the past several years, according to data.
Family, stay aware and prepared. That's quite disturbing. And look at the timing. What's really going on? I'll be keeping you up to date. There may be some more situations like this. Sounds like something is in the midst of being instigated. Time to be prayerful. Be vigilant. Also, saw this headline. Check this out. This Amazon truck driver. I'll let you see for yourself.
Fox 5's Kevin Stewart is on this story live from the Cherokee County Jail. This is a tragic story, Kevin.
It is truly tragic, Christine. We're told the 79-year-old woman had just left a cemetery when she was struck and killed. This is the Canton Cemetery along Cumming Highway. 79-year-old Sandra Fitz had just left, only a short walk away from her destination, her old house. But folks here know this is a dangerous walk.
Yeah.
Particularly at night.
Not the safest of roads to be walking on.
This is the Amazon truck the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office says hit Fitz, killing her at the scene.
The husband was nearby.
While she walked at 6:30 in the evening.
There was some evidence.
Wow, devastating. Be alert out here, family. So much going on. Meanwhile,
Good morning. I'm Megan Fia, the WKRN.com alert desk. The McDonald's E. coli outbreak is spreading. At least 104 people have been sickened, 34 put in the hospital by onions served on the chain's quarter pounders. This update in overnight from the CDC. Federal health officials say cases have been found in 14 states. One person died in Colorado. 4 others are said to have developed a potentially life-threatening kidney disease. We spoke to a health expert at Vanderbilt about the symptoms that may go along with eating this type of bacteria.
Well, looks like McDonald's is truly suffering. Things are coming out about their burgers. Some of us have been knowing this for a long time, but it's interesting that it didn't get spotlighted until during this election season. Yeah, You know, Trump was out there in the forefront, but McDonald's, they're trying to, save their reputation. So they're investing $100 million just to do that. Check this out, family, as we leave out of here.
McDonald's says it is investing $100 million to try and bring customers back to stores after last month's E. coli outbreak that was centered here in Colorado. The outbreak was tied to slivered onions used in quarter pounders. Several states were impacted, with Colorado hit especially hard. More than 30 cases were reported in the state, with at least 1 death happening in Mesa County. The fast food chain says they are spending $35 million on marketing and $65 million pushing money back into those franchises that lost business during the outbreak. McDonald's has stated that it has started putting onions back on its menu, but using a different supplier than the one that caused the E. coli outbreak.
Sorry, Mickey D's. I don't think that that's going to work. But hey, it's a try. How about instead of spending all those millions of dollars on a marketing campaign, how about, like helping the homeless? Because we definitely are having a housing crisis in America right about now. Why don't you put that money to some real use? Okay. Brothers and sisters, that is your Melchizedek News Headlines for Monday, November 18th. I will see you all soon. Shalom, family, and aloha and mahalo from Hawaii.